Hi guys! So in this video I want to talk about how to read your astrological natal chart. We're not going to really go into detail, but it's just going to be kind of a brief overview so you get an idea about what all those, lines and those symbols, mean. And this is actually the part 2 of my what is astrology videos. So if you haven't watched the part 1, you can watch it before this or after this, but please go and watch it. It's gonna be, I'm just gonna put a link up there. The first place that I would recommend you to get a natal chart is online. You can get it from astro.com, and then you can go to the section that says free horoscope and then scroll down to the part that says natal chart. Let me check. Okay, so astro.com, and then you go to the one that says horoscopes, and then you scroll down to the very bottom where it says drawings and calculations, and you click on the one that says natal chart ascendant. That's the one. And then you just type in your date of birth, time of birth, which is really crucial, and the location, so where you were born. And then you get a chart that looks like this. So this is an example. This is my own natal chart, and this is basically a map of the sky the moment that you were born. It's like projected up there like that. You can see the positions of the planets, so they're the ones that is inside the circle, the ones that has like lines connected to them and has like a degree, like a number, like those are the planets and their positions in the sky the moment you were born. Positions in terms of the astrological signs that they were in, and kind of what we call the houses. There are 12 houses, so if you count, it looks like a pizza. There's 12 pieces in a pizza. There's 12 houses, all right? They're numbered, so you can see what numbers the houses are. Take note that the sun and moon are considered planets in astrology, though they're actually not planets. And these planets are actually revolving around the Earth in astrology, whereas in astronomy, they're revolving around the sun. So because of all of these different placements in your natal chart, there's actually so many different possibilities. I think the number is like, the combination could possibly be up to septillion combinations. That's like a trillion, that's like 10 followed by 24 zeros. That means there's no human being in the world today, and probably never has been for like thousands of years, who is exactly like you. And even if there was like 1,000 years ago someone who had the exact same natal chart just as you, they probably don't have the same parents or didn't grow up in the same family, so they would ultimately not be the same as you. So sometimes, you get people's birthdays and they have no idea what time they were born. There's a couple of things that I could look at when I don't know someone's birth time. So the first thing would be, of course, the zodiac signs, but more important than that, I kind of look at the configurations that pops up directly in the natal chart. So that's the most basic thing that you can look in a person's natal chart to just get an overall idea of the themes that happens in their life. So the configurations are the lines that go across in the chart, and these lines would form shapes. Okay. Yes, there's red lines, which shows a little bit more of a struggle in a person's life. The blue lines and the green lines show more harmonious or a life that's just easier. Remember that just because the red lines show tougher things and struggles in life does not mean it's negative. And the blue and green lines, though they are easier and more harmonious, does not mean it's positive. Everything is positive and negative. This is basically how I would do it if I see that they have an equilateral triangle. So a triangle where all the sides are equal. This would show me that they have a fairly easier life, less struggles, have come more flow in their life. Of course, if they have this red square, this is called a T-square, this means, yeah, there's some struggles there, There's some struggles there, but with struggles comes more action, If you have a lot of equilateral triangles, then it's like, my life is so easy, I don't have to do anything, and I'm lazy, and so on. If there's like a lot of T-squares, then it's like, I need to work harder in this life, you know. A stellium, so when there's like a lot of planets, usually 3 or more, located in one sign or one house, then like this person definitely has all their energies focused on this one aspect of their life, whatever that aspect might be, and there's just more emphasis on this happening in their life. And I am making a random. I have power. Open the door. If they have like a grand cross, which looks like this, then there's a lot of burdens in life, you know, like kind of like a T-square. A yod, so it looks pretty much like this, dotted green lines, and then it's an isosceles triangle, basically. So this is like, it kind of is called the finger of God, so you really feel like you have a mission in this life, something that you really need to, you know, contribute. You know, like a fate, like you feel like you have a destiny in this life. A mystic rectangle, you know, we've got squares, triangles, why not have a rectangle? You know, this is called a mystic rectangle, so a rectangle of talent, gifts that needs to be manifested. Okay, so in astrology, we would consider the planets to be the what's in your life and in your personality. So for example, the moon would be what? Your emotions. Mercury would be your communications, the way you think, so on and so forth. The house, now the house is really cool. I would consider the house to be an area of your life, both internally and externally. So for example, if we look at the 5th house, externally the 5th house would be things like your hobbies, children, romantic relationships, fun. The inside area of your being would be things like your inner child. The 7th house, for example, the outer area of your life would be your spouse, marriage, contracts. The inner area of you would be, for example, your ability to make commitments, your shadow side. Now, the most important thing, however, that I would look for in a natal chart would actually be the aspects. So they are actually the lines that you see going on, because that's actually going to tell you the conversations that the planets are having with each other. For example, if say you have your moon, your emotions, and Mercury, your communication, right next to each other, so they're conjunct, that means that they're actually working very well together and they're amplifying each other. Mainly the moon's kind of amplify Mercury, because the moon doesn't really make light of its own, it's just kind of a reflecting, you know, body. So basically this would mean that, you know, you say what you feel. Your communication is what makes you feel comfortable. You might like to journal what you think. You have the ability to maybe communicate things that come from your unconscious mind, and you can bring that out and communicate that to people. You get the point. But let's say they are square, so and they have that red line between them, you're gonna kind of struggle to communicate what you actually feel. You're gonna kind of struggle to communicate what's deep inside of you. So you see, aspects, very, very important. And a lot of times people who look into their astrological chart, you know, they go like, oh, I see my signs, and completely disregard the aspects, which don't. Now let's take that example again, the moon conjunct Mercury. Now we're gonna place it in different houses. So let's say you have a moon conjunct Mercury, and now we put it in the 7th house. Okay, so now we've got somebody who's very comfortable and likes to communicate to their spouse, their partner, okay? Things that they feel, you know, they like to be very open and communicating about their feelings to their husband or wife. But if you take that same moon conjunct Mercury and you put it in the 5th house, you would be more communicative when you're first seeing somebody, okay? When you're dating with somebody, you know, the way that you like to flirt would maybe be to have pillow talk. Basically, a very brief overview of the aspects, the houses, the planets, the signs. Oh, there's just so much to look at in an astrological chart. It's amazing. I don't want to overwhelm you right now, so I'm just gonna stop it there. Let me just show you a couple of different birth charts so you can get an idea of the different combinations that we can have. So guys, I think that's all for today. Thank you very much if you have subscribed to my channel and you've been watching both of my What is Astrology videos. If you haven't subscribed and you're interested in, you know, this kind of content, then please hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Like I mentioned in my first What is Astrology video, that I'm really excited, you know, about this channel, and because I'm really glad to have someone come along on this journey of self-discovery and then ultimately, you know, becoming the better versions of ourselves and embracing, like I mentioned before, the stardust in us. I'm thinking about a series, like having a first series be a sun-moon combination series. I mean, that could be pretty interesting. You know, like, what's the difference if you have like a Gemini sun and a Cancer moon, or a Gemini sun and like an Aquarius moon or something like that? That'd be pretty cool. Anyways, so that's all. Have a good day. Enjoy. Bye.